Welcome to Scope Creep Saloon, the gamer's watering hole.
Did you steal that glass from a pizza parlor?
You like my big pizza parlor glass?
It looks like it came straight out of a fucking Pizza Hut from 1995.
Yeah. I also got a half iceberg on deck for some reason.
What are you doing with that?
Don't worry about
I
that
was
guy.
wondering what you were eating.
Just a little snack.
Are you just popping?
Are you
popping leaves off that?
Dude,
Heavens.
that's so tapped.
I had some chili before. I was putting it in the chili.
He's changing the game.
Wow.
Lettuce in the chili?
I've heard of that.
That's man, I don't know about that.
Wait, what
I
about
don't
one?
agree.
What about one more bit? What if I was just like,
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
good.
good.
We like that.
That's good.
you like that?
You should make that.
ASMR.
You should make that a thing.
Wait. Shh.
Appalling.
That was incredibly satisfying crunch. I was like, that could be in like a commercial or something.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scope Creep Saloon, the show where we take a random prompt and speed run, turning it into a game pitch. I'm Eric.
I'm Topsy Kretz.
No. Awful. Awful.
He said it.
I'm Detective Fingerling.
Oh. This has been a nightmarish episode.
You're gonna kill this guy.
Well, I'm not gonna make it.
I know, good luck editing this.
Yeah, you just heard from our very first guest on the show, Sienna Conti. So good to have you on the show.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. On today's episode, which again was a nightmarish episode, we pulled the words Frogger, parachute, and rice cooker. I'm not even going to bother trying to explain the slogan on this one. You'll just have to listen to the episode. But we want to hear from you, so make sure you leave us a line. You can check our show notes. You can now text us directly. You hit up scopegroursaloon.com. Give us a line. Enjoy the ep if you can.
I mean, it is chaos.
It's madness. Today, we're pretty excited. This is our first guest episode, and we're very stoked to have our good friend Sienna here. Sienna, say hi.
Hi.
Sienna is, I would say, one of our earliest listeners and has been so helpful with the feedback and just hang with us on the pod. So, Sienna, thanks for being such a good friend and fan of the show, and we're stoked to have you here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Sienna's also like a major league gamer. She's one of the best gamers.
Absolutely incorrect.
Yeah, what's your Twitch channel again so people can watch your game?
Nope, don't have one.
Are you sure? It's not
Maybe
Sienna
after this,
Streams?
Nope.
Oh.
If anything, it would probably be under. That's usually my video game tag.
True.
So.
Boom,
yeah.
you doxed yourself.
No.
Got her.
Sienna, before we get into it, I'm curious, do you have a favorite episode so far or a favorite moment or bit from the episodes that comes to mind?
I have a couple, but I think one of my favorites was when Frank reverse engineered Sardinians.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Reverse engineered Italians. That was very funny to me.
Mamma mia.
It's so funny because when you were like, yeah, the Sardinians, I was like, okay, listening to it, and then you were like, oh, those are real people. I'm like, yes, those are people.
Yeah, those are
from a real
guys.
place.
Yeah.
Named after a fish. Crazy.
No.
Okay, next, rank your favorite hosts 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Andrew 3.
Got his ass.
That and
You asked for it.
I did.
I also loved just the concept of a wet uncle in the first.
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
also a classic. I was like that. I think I was like walking the bus listening to that, and I was like laughing out loud, and
Yeah.
people at the bus stop were like, give me the face. So
You remember what that was about?
it was like a water. It was like a water.
That was the Bubby on
Water
the Loose
World.
one.
It was like the
Yeah, yeah.
water one, and I don't
Yeah.
remember how the uncles came in, but
So this is Bubby on the Loose. Andrew's correct.
Bubby on the Loose.
This
that's
is
yeah.
golf, pool, and a third thing.
Yeah, the wet uncles were like a jellyfish kind of just
Right.
blob
Right.
guy that hung out on the surface of the water.
Right.
right.
You were pitching like these horrible Cronenberg fish people creatures. And the wet uncles were.
That was the context of a
Mhm.
wet uncle. I just remember I liked the phrase "wet uncle," and now I'm like, oh,
pretty
it's
good.
even more
Yeah,
horrific
it's
than I
good.
remember.
Yeah, you blocked out the horror. Yeah,
Yeah.
very reasonably so.
We
Yes.
love body
Nice.
horror on the pod.
I mean, same. It's interesting.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, those are treasured scope creep saloon moments.
Yes.
I would say.
Definitely.
So good selections. But we're gonna make some more treasured moments right effing now.
Damn.
And I got this hat, and it's got some slips of paper in it, and we're gonna pull them out.
Love it.
So what do we got? All right, first word, Frogger.
Okay.
It's already
That's a game.
That's a game. So
Hey,
All
I don't
right.
know
hey,
that-
man.
I don't know that we've had a lot of.
Hey, man,
games.
that's a video game.
All right, well, it is there.
All
Rice
right,
cooker.
it's done.
It's done.
That's your short up. All right, the next one is rice cooker. All right, and then last word today, parachute.
All right.
I have no idea what we're gonna do with this. So the three slips we have today are Frogger, rice cooker, and parachute. So Sienna, before we get into brainstorming, we're just gonna kind of talk about initial ideas. Actually, before we get into brainstorming, we want to hear what your ideas are. So take a moment, think about Frogger, rice cooker, and parachute, and what that game would be to you. And then we'll get on with the app.
Put a letter in Frank's mailbox, personally,
Personally, yeah.
with your
We
ideas.
will be giving out Sienna's mailing address.
Stop doxing me.
Wow. I didn't
come
know
on
how
to
much
one
fun.
podcast.
Yeah. You got a mega docs. All right, so what are we thinking? What are some initial thoughts here? I would say an initial thought is Frogger's already a game, but besides that,
Well, we're gonna have to like pull, like we can't make Frogger.
Correct.
We're gonna have to like pull something out of there, like just the frog idea.
Traffic.
What if you're okay? What if you're instead of playing as the frog in Frogger, what if you're in one of the cars and you're trying to hit the frog?
Oh,
You're racing home because
Interesting.
your rice cooker is boiling over. You're gonna ruin dinner, and this fucking
Yeah.
frog won't get out of the road.
I mean, that's pretty good. My initial thought with a parachute and a rice cooker was like a paratrooper food kitchen, where you had
Ooh,
to
okay.
like parachute rice cookers down. Maybe there's hungry frogs below
Mm-hmm.
that are looking for some rice. I don't know.
Yep. I like that.
What about like, what's that cook game? Overcooked, but you're
Yeah.
you're falling from the sky.
Oh, I think
okay.
there
Like-
is a level in that game where you
Like
are
that?
falling from the
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Make that.
My friends and I tried to play, and we were really, really high, and I haven't laughed that hard in a really long time.
Beautiful.
I was looking at someone else's character entirely.
That's
I
awesome.
was just-
Hell yeah.
My character was just in a corner, letting things burn.
I think I've done that actually cooking before. I'm pretty sure I've been there.
Wait,
Just
out of
staring
body
in the
experience.
corner. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Overcooked is a joy of a game. Yeah. I was just thinking of a bit, they talk about frog and boiling water. Could
Yeah.
you do that with a frog and a rice cooker?
Yeah, like our American political system.
Oh,
got him.
Andrew, is there any news you'd like to talk about
Nope.
on today's pod? Has anything happened recently?
Any topical
Nope.
things
Yeah.
going
Today-
on right now?
Today, Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Has anything happened recently that
pleased
you
to
think we
report-
should talk
Week?
about?
Yeah, I'm pleased to report nothing has happened.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're
We'll take
good.
it.
We're fine.
Great. What a relief.
Anyways, back to frogs boiling.
Yes, yes. Completely unrelated. Frogs boiling.
Hey, what's going on inside of a rice cooker? Just for my own
It's a good question.
understanding. How does that work? Does it
Yeah.
have a frog setting?
No, but it could.
It should, yeah. A French one does.
Yeah.
Le rice cooker, yeah.
Are you telling me a frog fried this rice? Wait, that's not.
It is now, buddy.
Got him.
What do you guys say? We'll do some brainstorming. We'll come back and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Alright,
Let's
cool.
do it.
Let's get to work.
Up next, we take our words for this episode, brainstorm separately, and come back to reveal our ideas to each other. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. We're going to look at some ideas here. We've all got some ideas on the board, and Sienna's got her notes. So let's see what we've got.
Who put the photo of the wall?
Oh, so Frank said, "Did a frog fry this rice?" And then I thought, does someone make frog fried rice? And this is a frog fried rice with kimchi.
Ooh, that looks
Sorry.
good.
Oh,
I'd
wow.
probably, give that a shot.
Yeah.
Sure. How do we want to get started? Sienna, I don't know if you're interested in going first, or do you want to go after? Do you want us to kick it off, or?
Oh yeah, you guys can kick it off.
All right, Drew, let it rip.
All right. So the core of my idea is okay. So I've been playing Dave the Diver, which is a game that I like, and I've also played historically a lot of PUBG. And so I was thinking about parachuting. I'm like, okay, well, what's a good way to like incorporate a parachute in? And then I was thinking about in like Fortnite or PUBG, like a big part of the game is like deciding like where to drop out of a plane and where to parachute in to like start the match or whatever. So I kind of combined those two game concepts into one. So essentially you are a frog and you have to like jump out of a plane over this big map that's kind of like, it's the drops are kind of different every time. So like you're looking for like ingredients and stuff for a restaurant that you end up having to like run.
Oh,
So you're making like a frog sushi restaurant. So like you're trying to find flies, bugs, worms. You're making sushi to feed to your frog customers. So basically, yeah, you're surveying the plane from the plane. You're trying to find where all these resources are. There's like a scavenging phase where you have to get like materials to cook with, but also potentially like crafting materials to like build a restaurant. So the other angle of this is that so we're talking about Frogger. The enemy is the cars. So I was thinking about what if you had cars that hunted you like Mr. X from RE2 or like the Xenomorph from Alien Isolation. So it's like they're AI driven and they do random shit every time, and their goal is like they're like a horror enemy where like they're hiding behind like level geometry and buildings, and they're just like jumping out and attacking you to try and run you over, and they're just like always hunting
nice.
you. Yeah, that's my idea in a nutshell.
It's kind of like you made like a restaurant sim game. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like you make like a restaurant. Cool. Also, you're a frog. All right. Yeah. That's cool. Like with flies. Yeah. And you go around the city and you find your ingredients. Okay, cool. Also, you drop from a plane. All right. And a car's trying to kill you. What?
Well, yeah. A few cars are trying to kill you.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's not just one.
Yeah.
It was a game 3 steps ago.
It's like Christine. It's like that Stephen King book.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it is a good game though.
Yeah.
I would say a good game.
Sienna, what are your thoughts?
So I had some elements that are kind of similar. I feel like there's only so many you can do. Like you are the frog, and obviously like you jump out of planes and stuff like that. But so I was thinking that you're like a frog, like artillery man, and someone's kidnapped the frog president. and he's been ransomed for 1 million pounds of rice, which is the currency in this world.
Nice.
And you have to parachute into like different compounds, like it's like a war game, and you have to use industrial rice cookers to get enough rice to free the president. And then I just added on avoid cars while parachuting. So theoretically, there are cars also driving in the sky to get the Frogger element.
Flying cars, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of like my thinking. I also was like thinking about like if it'd be like a cozy game, kind of like you were saying about like a restaurant sim. So like I think there were some overlapping themes there, but my idea was more of like a Call of Duty kind of thing. Or like Assassin's Creed, but you just have to like collect rice and free the president. and maybe kill other frogs and cars on the way. So yeah, those were kind of my like ideas briefly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so, Sienna, when you're talking about, did we say who kidnapped the president? Do we know?
No, but we could flesh that out.
We can flesh that out. Yeah. Just curious. Is it a frog or is it another kind of guy?
It's a 20-year-old from Pennsylvania.
In your mind.
No, never mind.
God damn.
It very well could have been. Maybe that's why I was going with the president angle.
No.
Because nothing happened this week. And nothing was on my mind.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. But no, I think we could, figure that out. It doesn't have to be a frog. But
just curious if you had initial thoughts. Yeah.
No, but I liked Andrew's idea of the Christine cars. And I think that's a very fun element that the cars are alive and like their own characters.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun. So maybe the cars kidnapped him.
All right. Good options. Frank.
I wrote some stuff down for sure. What do I got? Island Hoppers, a very realistic World War II game about the Pacific Theater, but it's all frogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
I would love that. I would love that game so much. It's hyper realistic.
Yeah. I don't know. Like they're really people-looking frogs, of course.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And I think just the Americans are, anthropomorphic frogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's curious. So they're killing human men.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. What is there symbolism to that you think you're getting at? Not that I have an answer. I'm truly curious what that symbolism would be.
No, I just, I heard Island Hoppers and then I just saw human frogs.
And also, just want to be clear, when you say you heard Island Hoppers, where did you hear that? Because this is the idea you said to us. And so I'm curious what kind of divine inspiration you had.
Internal monologue.
Yeah.
There was a guy here. You didn't see him. Don't worry.
Did the lettuce talk to you?
Island Hoppers.
I was like, oh, interesting.
Joe
Thanks,
Biden.
Wake up.
Thank you, Benadryl paralysis demon who lives in my room.
The Hat Man came to you.
Yeah, they're just, it's an amphibious force, so
yeah,
they're frogs.
Sure,
it checks out. Next was just more of a futuristic take of Frogger, maybe. I said Blade Runner-esque, so you have the flying car aspect.
Wait, is the car a
just
fly?
Some cool,
like a fly that a frog would eat?
Flying cars.
Dang, I guess so.
We love the reluctant, I guess so.
It doesn't have to be.
If it has to be.
I thought the pun was fun.
Yeah, that's a good pun. There's not much there. I kind of like these last two ideas better. One was you kind of just steal the plot from Osmosis Jones, and we're living in a rice cooker. And you are the only one who knows that, so you're trying to escape, and you have to run through traffic and parachute. And, it's all movement based, but you're trying to I don't know how big the rice is, because it'd be cool if you could jump from rice to rice, but I was kind of picturing a full on city, and I don't know what the people are. and I don't know where the frogs
Okay.
are.
Okay,
But-
so
okay.
you're talking about Grand Theft Auto Race City is what you're talking about.
Wait, that's so
That's
good.
kind of
Wow.
I did, yeah.
That's a top tier bit.
For sure.
Wait, that's honestly like pretty sick. I love that.
That's an interesting application to the rice cooker. Alrighty. I will I'll go next. I've got kind of 3 ideas. First one is parachute Frogger. We've touched on this a couple times. The next one is Skycook. Skycook is a capitalist dystopia where you're a gig economy worker. You're basically like a door dasher, but it's maybe Blade Runner. And so I'm imagining there's an app that's like DoorDash, and it's people being like, help, I need someone to cook for me right now. And so you're like constantly circling in the air and you parachute into random locations. And so there's maybe the Sky Frogger issue, but there's also like, it's just a car centric infrastructure. So there's the part where you parachute and then you have to get from where you land to this person's house. And it's just like treacherous. It's just like, it's like a little Death Stranding meets Frogger, where it's just like you're making your way on foot and you're like constantly in threat of getting blasted by vehicles. So that's Sky Cook. And then this next one's called Mr. Chef LeFrog. And you're a little frog chef who navigates this dangerous open world. And Drew, I also had car themed enemies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit like Horizon Zero Dawn, but they're cars. And then you're trying to like basically make the rounds cooking for woodland soldiers on an evolving front line of some war. And maybe they parachute in. And so you have this like giant map and you're constantly like foraging and cooking, and then like new squads will like show up on the map and you have to make your way to them without getting smashed by a car and cook for them while they're on the front line. So yeah, those are my ideas.
So is it a war between frogs and cars? And it's kind of like,
I think so.
and it's kind of just like extreme Frogger. Like you just took the idea of Frogger really far.
Yeah. It's like the war, like that was the inciting event, but it's never stopped. You know, that battle's been raging for 20 something years.
Right, like the original Frogger was like their martyr kind of.
Yeah, it's like an inciting event.
Yeah, I like that, and I really like Mr. Chef LeFrog. I really like
I'm speaking
that.
your language, yeah.
Yeah. And I like the idea of all the cars in your dystopian one, like an impossible amount of cars and like on ramps and off ramps everywhere. Like just layers of highway, just like preposterous amounts.
Yeah, there's no sidewalks. It's just like lane after lane of cars. There's nowhere like safe, basically.
I think you're just describing Cleveland.
Yeah.
Got him.
Cleveland, it's over for you.
We're doxing Cleveland.
Yeah, we're doxing Cleveland next. I'm going to show everyone where Cleveland lives. Yeah, it's just like you're just constantly running through parking lots and highways and fucking roundabouts.
Kind of a parkour game, perhaps.
Ooh, that's a fun spin.
Like you're jumping over the medians and you can jump over cars. And yeah.
Yep.
Especially because you're a frog, so you could like extra high. Maybe you could do like get bonuses.
That's
like
kind of tight.
Hawk, like you do tricks.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of sick.
I kind of like the frog car war. I feel like there's a lot to chew on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah,
No,
Sienna,
like
what do you lean towards?
I mean, I really enjoyed what we were just discussing about, like you said, about it being a lot more infrastructure, and that adds a lot of layers and complexity to the game rather than it just being like all right, now you have to do this mission and that mission. I feel like there's a lot more obstacles in the midst of this environment, you know? But I do like the idea of like a war between the cars and the frogs, but maybe incorporating that like incorporating the like infrastructure from the chef? What is it?
Mr. Chef the Frog.
Thank you, Mr. Chef the Frog.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Mr. Chef the
incorporating
Frog.
the infrastructure from that into the like game with the war could be interesting.
Yeah, and I wonder. Yeah, and like looking at Drew, your notes again. There's definitely some similar themes here. So maybe it's like, yeah, maybe the goal is you have this war going on between frogs and cars. You are basically go on these missions where they call you in because a squadron has run out of food supplies, right? Like these guys are going to starve in the front line. So you have to parachute in, forage for materials. So there are some green spaces, but then between the green spaces and the front line, it's a fucking car nightmare.
Right.
Okay.
And so you
it's like
you
the
land,
trenches.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trenches are fucking tunnels.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like sewer tunnels
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
shit like that. Yeah.
And so you do your, you pick your spot. Like every mission, there's like potentially different areas you can land that might have different types of food you can pick up and resources. You get your resources, collect them. And then as you make your way to the squad you have to feed, it's a car hellscape. And then when you get to your squad, you do some cooking for them.
You can take that. I do think we should keep. I like the idea of like even parachuting in and having to dodge the crows and stuff. Like I think that's a cool way to kind of enter each round or level or whatever.
Yeah.
See, I was imagining the cars would be sort of anthropomorphic also, and they'd be doing a full-on war against the frogs.
Like Transformers?
Yeah.
Just thinking that.
Not more like the movie Cars.
Okay.
But realistic.
What about hold on, what about this? Horizon Zero
That's
emissions.
cool.
Instead of all the dinosaurs, it's all Priuses.
Yeah.
It's all Priuses. This is very good.
Yeah. Could be
Horizon
that.
Zero Emissions is quite good.
I mean, that's yeah.
Smart cars.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Yeah.
So what are we thinking?
I mean, that's the general gist. I don't know if the gameplay is just like there's also a bunch of cars, like in the car when you get the car homeland, you're trying to do a mission behind enemy lines, and there's nothing but cars driving around.
I just had a thought. What if it could be like a multiplayer and some people could play the cars and other people could play the frogs?
Oh, you want to let him be the sicko?
Right.
That's
I
cool.
was like, that could be kind of fun and like, I don't know, just a thought.
It could be, it could be cool. There's not really a way you could do it where it's, well, okay. What I was going to say is, could you do it where they don't know what they're doing? Like you basically spin up a second game and you make the incentives of that game as like, hey, like you're a race car driver and you have infinite fuel and your goal is to just drive as fast as you can all the time. And then what they don't know, Ender's Game twist, is that the cars they're driving are feeding the data for the cars being driven in the frog game. And so when you're playing a frog, the cars that are flying around are being piloted by the people playing this other half of the game who don't realize that they're
That's good.
that they're powering these vehicles
Yeah, I
of
like this.
destruction.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah. So they're completely separate games, mostly, right? Like you're just buying the race car game.
Yeah, you think that it's advertised as a separate game,
Right.
which is, Speedster. It's
Classic,
called I
yeah.
Am Speed, like your shirt, Frank.
Sick.
And people, they don't realize that they're influencing this other game by driving like monsters.
Yeah. And they're just like running over poor defenseless frogs.
Yep.
And it's like really, I don't know, it's really like harrowing, like graphic. And the frog's like, no, my brother. That was my brother.
Well, I was gonna say in I Am Speed, they just see them as power ups, and so they're like, they're like swerving to try to hit them, but they don't know.
Now we're talking.
That's not a power up at all.
Love that.
Yeah. That frog's a guy.
that we get both sides.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Dang. Okay.
And then if there's some sort of way that you like win on the car game, then the curtain is pulled back and you see how many frogs you killed.
Wow.
You see that you were the demon all along. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be like, I don't know, it has to be like bad, like graphic or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you feel bad for the frogs after you figure out what you've done.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Wow, we made a game about PTSD.
Yeah, that's a classic movie. They're seeing courses, but they're really driving on a war-torn countryside or something.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yes. Huh.
I mean, to be clear, none of this is practical.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
How are they going to make
your
the game?
confusion is
How are they going to make it?
how are they going to make this game?
How are we going to make this game?
They got to make the game.
But that's what I'm saying. And if we didn't want to do the ghost drivers from I Am Speed, that's fine too. But
Well, we're gonna do that.
well, we're gonna do it. But I'm just saying,
trying to figure out,
Yeah, gotcha.
how it's gonna look. Important question.
Yeah.
Size of the frogs versus the cars. Are we doing real size scale?
I mean,
I don't know,
like
Sienna. What do you think?
I like the idea of. I mean, for the ghost drivers to work and that be the twist that they're killing all these frogs, it should probably be like the frogs are much smaller. But I do love the idea of a car-sized frog.
It's not bad.
You know? So
I think, I think we could do it that way because again, like the scale that the drivers see and the scale that the frogs see, they can be different.
That's true.
Yeah, like they return back to their comrades in like a swamp on a lily pad, and that's where their like hideout is. But then they have to go back to the racetracks or the whatever.
Right.
Cleveland.
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 What if the game's just called Cleveland and it takes place in Cleveland?
Okay. Well, that's, certainly an idea.
All right. What do we think? It seems like we roughly like this structure. Do we want to dig in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think we're going in with more gameplay than usual, too.
Yeah. Now that we have the core concept locked in, it's time to dig into the gameplay. More private brainstorming and sharing when we come back. Alrighty, so we're back from our gameplay brainstorming session. Our words today were Frogger, Parachute, and Rice Cooker. And we kind of are centering around this idea of a game where you are a parachuting frog being deployed into the battlefield in the war against cars to gather supplies and cook for the soldiers on the front line. But as you can imagine, there's a lot of gameplay to potentially discuss in there. So we're going to see what the group has for us. I'm going to reveal the notes. Fuck you, Drew.
Oh, that was... Wow, it's really amazing.
Yeah. I wish listeners could see this. The part of the reveal. Drew, do you want to explain what we're enjoying so much?
Yeah. So Sienna showed us her physical Post-it note that she was scrawling ideas down on, and I said, "Hey, that looks like the shit that's scrawled over Jim Carrey's face in the movie poster for The Number 23, which is a movie that no one probably remembers or watched." And then Frank put a gun in Sonic's hands, and in a speech bubble it says, "Anything going on in the news lately?"
But wait, you forgot to mention that there's the movie poster for the number 23.
Oh, sorry, I thought I mentioned that. Yeah, it's on the
You're
board.
just
The
saying
movie
it.
poster for the number.
It's on the
23.
board.
Yeah, it's on the
It's
board.
on the board.
I got jump scared by Jim Carrey's face
That
with
looks
the
like
number
my Post-it
23.
note.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, there is also Sonic with a gun asking if anything is going on in the news lately.
Anything going on in the news lately?
He's just curious. He just wants to know.
He's just curious. He doesn't know. None of us
Yeah.
know.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing
that's
wrong with asking what's
so
going on in
funny.
the news. Let's mix it up. Sienna, do you want to start us off with some of your gameplay notes?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we talked a lot about it in the other section, but
Mhm.
I was curious. You were talking about the frogs being at war.
Yeah.
And how it was like Frogger was like the precursor.
Mhm.
So I Googled it. It's been 43 years since the war started.
Nice.
And then I also had, and again, it was similar to what you were describing earlier, but I was also saying that maybe halfway through the car side of things, that's when you realize that you've been, murdering all these frogs.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, Frank was like, I want it to be really graphic. It's like, we have to see their funerals and their family's mourning. And then maybe the second half of it is the car. You are now on trial for war crimes. And it's like a full legal battle the second half. And you have to hire a good car lawyer and stuff. So that was where my brain was going.
Nice.
But yeah, I didn't really have too much to add other than those very small details.
Yeah.
So I actually want to jump in because I also wrote frog graves and frog funerals,
Yes,
and they have full families and stuff.
exactly.
So we're on the same
Yeah.
page there
Love
for
that.
sure.
Locked
Love
in.
that.
Locked in.
When you say
Um,
car lawyers, do you mean like a Lightning McQueen in a suit? It's
Yes.
like, damn, I
Yeah.
just showed up
Yeah,
to court. My
she
lawyer
does.
looks like this. I'm going to jail, and it's just it's Toe Mater.
Yeah, right.
So, a question we have to answer. I know we kind of have to go through everybody's first, but when is it revealed to the car game
I have an answer.
that this is
I-
going on? You have
yes.
an answer.
Potentially. So the frogs are maybe trying to obtain some kind a golden fly or something that increases their size, so they turn into a kaiju, and then they can fight the cars. And in that moment, in the car game, all of a sudden, a giant frog starts stomping the cars, and you've turned the tides. That's my potential answer.
That would, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
First, I kind of want them to be two different games completely.
Okay.
You either buy the speed game or you buy the frog game.
Yep.
I kind of like that because we don't want people to have too much fun. They have to play one or the other. They have to pick sides. I kind of like the idea that you just progress too far in the speed game, and then you're like, "Hey, we're hitting frogs," but you could choose to keep going,
You can keep going.
and you could be a sicko car. And I also had an idea in here that the matchmaking seems random to everybody, but there's actually people who were like, oh, we need more people here. And it's it becomes
Right.
I don't know, a resource war, or we need these cars over here. So you have to do this track. And there's
Right.
actual person assigning the matchmaking to
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, hey, racers, welcome to the daily challenge. It's
Right,
today's daily
exactly.
challenge course is this, but it's really just where the influx of frog
Yeah, it's
players
fuck,
are.
the frogs are trying to take this
Yeah.
part. We gotta,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
okay.
I think you could do a thing where you say you progress to a certain point, and then it's click this button to unlock the speed demon, the fastest car in the game. And when you do that, the veil is fully lifted, and you get exposed to all that stuff. And so, like you're saying, Frank, you can still drive the speed demon, but it comes at the cost of knowing you're
Right.
murdering these frogs.
Yeah, it's it shows you a highlight reel of the frogs he murdered in the
Every
funerals.
frog
Does it
ever
look like a
killed,
Cybertruck?
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah.
Perfect.
Drew, I saw you had a note about that. Do you want to talk about that?
This actually is a better idea than what I had, which is just vaguely that I wanted there to be a Cybertruck boss. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
But I think there could be roaming bosses, kind of, and it could be basically Cybertrucks, and they're just out and about.
Okay. I like it.
Sienna, one thing I was thinking about too is you had mentioned in the first go around like a kidnapped president and like some gritty kind of war Call of Duty stuff. And I'm curious, do you see that? Is there anything we can pull in here that would like fit with that, or anything adjacent to that you think fits well?
Well, I mean, I think so. I mean, that's the thing is like, it is a war that's been ongoing for
43 years.
43 years.
Yeah.
So I think it could be like the frogs' villages are really like very war torn and like, you know, and that's why they're having to parachute into other areas to assist with aid for their comrades. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it being definitely more gritty. I like the idea of it being an incredibly gritty, realistic war game on the frog side, and then a just like cargo fast on the other side. And then the veil is lifted, and it's like you're implicit in the deaths of millions. I like
that's what a good video game is about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like
we're always punishing the player.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what they deserve.
Should've played a video game, pal.
Yeah, what are video games if not to learn lessons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a frog president.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Could be a frog president. I don't see why not.
You could just add that in there.
Yeah,
sure.
It could be that.
I think on the I Am Speed side, you almost want to encourage like almost like a Need for Speed Underground or something, where it's not just a track, but you're like racing throughout a city.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think it's
like street racing.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think a structure like that could work really well.
What if during the heel turn, like the villainous reveal, in the UI, it turns from calling everyone racers to racists?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I have to say it's pretty good.
I just checked, and I would say it's pretty good, actually. I just looked it up. It's funny to imagine a game that has like no faith in its audience getting the message, and so rather than coming to a conclusion about their role in this thing, it's like, no, you're racist. It's just like you unlock like you unlock an Xbox achievement that's like, I'm a big racist. That's like permanently associated with your account. Yeah.
Nice personal best lap time, racist.
The only thing for my stickies that I wanted to add was like, I kind of imagined that there'd be like proper racing and race courses, and that'd be where like the missions are happening for the frogs, but there's also where you parachute in, where your base is, kind of there's like off-roading chiller modes. There's even maybe planes and boats as like little side things in the I'm Speed. But yeah, I don't know. Just because like, you know, where you're parachuting in, it'd be cool if planes were trying to chop you up in their propellers.
Totally. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think, for the kind of larger world missions, there should totally just be like cars kind of free roaming.
Right.
And again, on the I Am Speed side, it's just like, hey, like drive the countryside and like collect as many points as you can. Right. But it's totally frogs moving around.
Yeah, but it's like, instead of just the race where they're going around, because if they're racing, they're on a track, so you can kind of like stay off the track, I guess, right?
Right.
Or there has to be some way that you can.
Yeah, unless it's specifically street racing in a city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think for the denser spots, we want it to feel like street racing, but then we can still have like off-roading in the plains and stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
That's just kind of chilling vibe.
Yeah.
To just lure them into a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure.
Before the veil is lifted.
Right.
Do we want to talk at all about what it's like to play as the frog a bit more? I know we have some objectives we've talked about, but like, what are you doing in kind of each phase?
I mean, at first, I feel like you're right. You're Mr. Chef LaFrog, right? So you're just kind of a small part of the army, and you're like just going out and getting resources for your little like encampment. But I think that encampment grows as each time you come back and like feed people. and then you kind of become like a rebel leader.
You
and then,
eventually work your way up the ranks in a way.
Right. And there's kind of a last, it just builds up to a last sort of attack somehow. You try to kill the Cybertruck. I don't know. And like the Cybertruck at that point is a player that knows about the frogs. So they're just, so it's a kind of a,
the Cybertruck is, whoever the top player is in IM
Nice.
Speed.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the players start, going to war more. Like I don't know. They're like, maybe in like the countryside, they start kind of trying to attack you somehow.
Well, maybe that's the off-roading.
Right.
The cars.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the countryside and all of a sudden these cars are here as a frog and you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like having to like escalate your attacks.
So it's interesting. So you guys are talking about like an encampment. I was thinking of something different. So I'm curious.
What are you thinking?
What direction you guys want to head in. So I was imagining you're part of like this global food corpse where there's basically like, it's a global conflict. There's front lines everywhere. And so each mission, it's like you're picking like a hot spot on the map where a squad needs your help. And then it kind of zooms in and you pick your landing zone, and each area or part of the world is going to have like different possible foods and different terrain and stuff. And so you're just trying to help like the global effort. But you bring up a good point, which is like, how do you would just have to figure out how that translates to like progressing the story and like what the end game looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the idea of it being a global effort, but that might be too
Go ahead, say it.
Too wide scale, too complicated.
Are you saying we can't make this game?
You say we can't make this game.
You're like,
we have to make the game.
You're just going to double down.
This has gotten out of hand.
I mean, Sienna, you've never been involved in the part where we make the game afterwards, but
right.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be more difficult.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, it's going to be like, I like the idea, but for the concept that we're discussing, I think it might be too difficult.
Hey, sorry, I just had a great idea. What if, this is a war going on in real time or whatever with the players?
What if one side is not the difficult part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
What if like one side wins and then they win and the other people can't play the game anymore?
They just break the game.
Yeah, it's just like you can't play I'm Speed anymore because the frogs have taken all of the courses.
Wait, that's really fun. It's like Risk.
It's like Risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start losing courses, and a lot of the people in I'm Speed are not in the know, and they're like, "Why the fuck can I play these courses? What's going on?"
Yeah, they're just posting on Reddit, being like, "Is anyone else having this issue?"
Yeah, and then there's just like way too many cars on one course. It's all jammed up.
I just feel like we've developed a horrible addiction. Games that are 2 games, and then games that you can't play anymore.
We love to have 2 games.
We love to have 2 games in one, and a game where we say, you know what, actually, fuck you. You can't play this anymore.
I'm sorry, this isn't the normal scope saloon, dude. This...
So I'm like crying right now.
Oh my god!
I love the.
This isn't the fucking normal idea bar.
Yeah, it's just broken.
That we're at right now.
Yeah.
Damn scope creep saloon.
Yeah. Check your lease, pal. Sure, why not?
Yeah, but this guy wanted to make a game this time.
Yeah, I just thought we'd maybe make a game, but no, never mind.
We made 2.
That's my bad.
Made 2, and one of them won't work.
Actually, that is what gamers deserve. A game that doesn't work.
You're right.
Yeah,
we could only have one or the other. We could have 2 games, or we could have a game that doesn't work at some point. I think we're locked into 2 games, so let's find a better sort of ending, I guess. Or there isn't really an ending. It's kind of just a multiplayer at all times,
yeah, I don't know. So on the frog side, so we said we're not doing the global conflicts. It's too much. So it's just
that's the one thing that's
it's a bridge too far. It's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, if we're not going to have the game is destroyed, maybe we can have global conflict.
One or the other.
No. Let's say it's too much for now. What do we? So what does that look like? Because you guys had mentioned the concept of like encampments. So I want to hear more about like that. Like, what does that look like?
I mean, I was thinking of it like as like, because in your original pitch you said like woodland, and that's, I think, like woodland creatures or whatever, and that's why my brain was thinking of like encampments and like kind of like much more like wilderness aspect, and that's why I was like, oh, they're on the ground and they are like moving in order to like make these rebel attacks happen. So that's what was my thinking.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm thinking about with this is like, why do you keep, like, what is the structure of the campaign that you're dropping out of the air multiple times? But maybe I'm wondering if with your encampment there is like, rather than a plane, you're getting fired out of a cannon, like a big circus cannon.
No, I like that. And they're frogs, so they could jump further.
That's right.
Out of the cannon.
Out of the cannon. The cannon,
Wait.
to be clear, the cannon doesn't
Frank
fire
doesn't
them.
like
Yeah. The cannon is just a place they can jump out of.
They're jumping and being fired at the same time. Like maybe they're riding the cannonball and then they jump off the cannonball.
It's like when you.
The line. I'll scale it back.
It's like when you.
Too outlandish. Yeah.
I know, it's ridiculous. What was I thinking?
What's nice about Scope Creep Saloon is that you find out where your limits are. It's a place you go where you think there are no limits, but it turns out everyone has a limit. They have a line they will draw, and you don't know until you're chilling. There are certain things the mind must reject.
It's just.
Are you listening to yourself? You sound crazy when you say that.
It's over for me.
Is the final secret boss being Jim Carrey from the number 23 over the line for anyone? Is that too far?
Yeah, that is the line for me, actually.
That's way out
That's insanely the line for me.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. So goofy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're running out of time here.
Shit, I didn't even see what time it was. We've just been giggling this whole time.
So we have this encampment. From the encampment, you jump out of the cannon into kind of regions that are just beyond the front line to gather supplies. And as you're navigating back to the encampment, it's treacherous because of cars and such.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. We just got to make sure that they're being parachuted out to assist in feeding the troops with their rice cookers. Just had to add that back in.
The rice cookers, that's right.
Yeah.
A thing we totally did not forget about.
Well, we got the chef part in there.
Yeah. I think,
a lot of rice-based dishes.
We've all known they had the rice cookers with them the whole time.
Right.
Just wanted to reiterate for the audience, just in case they forgot.
Yes, in case any listeners had checked out.
Yep.
Yeah, which they never would.
Never would during this
they said, I want this to be a global conflict. I'm turning this shit off. This is fun. I hate this episode.
I want this to be one game. One game that breaks.
Oh, it's two games again?
You're going to turn this podcast off.
Sucks.
I swear to God, if they don't make the villain Jim Carrey from 23, I'm never listening to this again.
Is the number 23 in me anything? Is that funny?
God damn it.
Yes, that is very funny.
Nothing to do with the video game.
I'm happy I'm the first guest and probably the last. Since I just derailed this.
No, not at all. You're breathing new life into it. It's beautiful.
I think so.
There were no rails to begin with.
Yeah, there were no
Okay.
rails. Yeah.
Good.
All right. Any last notes before we do title?
I think we got it.
Let's do
I
it.
think we're good.
All right, beautiful. Yeah, I think we really dialed it in, guys. I think we really cleared things up.
We can't talk about it anymore because we're just gonna do other things.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a title. Time for one last round of brainstorming. The title. All right. We've got some titles for our game. So our words today were Frogger, Parachute, and Rice Cooker. And we've been working on this impossible to summarize game about a war between frogs and cars. At least one game. And so we're figuring out a title for it. So let's see what ideas we have to share with one another. Come on, man.
Is that
What?
from the movie 23?
Wow.
Dude, I gotta see this movie now.
Yeah.
I hate it because that's totally my type.
Oh. That's great. Sienna, can you
describe what your type
the
is
picture
based on
we're
this
looking
photo.
at? Can you, for our listeners at home, can you describe what we're looking at?
No.
Indescribable. Well,
That's just for us. Just for
yeah,
us
okay.
to know.
That's an exercise for the imagination of the listener.
Exactly.
Amazing.
The only hint we'll give them is that it's a screenshot from the movie, the number 23. But that's all we'll say.
Yep.
Great.
It's so funny. I've absolutely dated that person before.
I'm glad you're still alive.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
We all
blood
have
all
a
over him.
type. We all have a type.
And he's holding a cool saxophone.
Yeah.
I mean, the sax is really what got me in there.
Yeah. Mamma mia.
All right, titles.
Titles.
I'll jump in there. I'll jump in there. So my first one, I thought about doing I Am Speed, the final race. Kind of like going off of that they're racists. God damn it. Yeah, you're kind of like, it's a weird name for the first, installment in the series.
You could also do I Am Speed, the Masters race.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh no.
So you do that. And then the rest are just frog games. So
Cool.
I was like, leap into war, frog? Leapfrog?
Oh, that's
leap into
cute.
war? Yeah, it's something. Frogger 2.
Oh,
Yep, Frogger 2. Hop, skip in a war?
okay.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Also, doesn't Frogger 2 exist already?
Probably.
100%.
I mean, one would assume.
100%. There's a
Listen,
Right.
we're not going to talk to whoever owns Frogger. We're not going to get any licensing. We're going to get just sued
you're
up
right,
the
you're
ass.
right.
Yeah.
Frogger 23!
God damn it, Drew. God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
The last one I wanted to say was legs and steel. Is what I was going to go for. But that's all I got.
Nice. Good stuff. I can go next. So I kind of have titles for the frog game and for the car game. So frog game, Mr. Sheffield Frog, the Frog of War.
Whoa. Good.
Oh.
How about that? Legs of Liberty, Croak of Duty, Car Hell.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And then the car game, I Am Speed, Turbo Racers, Super Fast Legends - Totally Cool, and No War Crimes Here.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 23. I can't. I just saw it on the thing.
Yeah. How did that become such a thing this time?
My brain is good.
Just for my
That's
notes.
why. That's how. My brain is good. I guess I'll go next. So, as we described earlier in the episode, Grand Theft Auto Rice City, which I thought was pretty good. I did write the number 23, and then also Frogger 23. Frog Factions, which I do really enjoy, which came up earlier. Frog Wars. Yeah. Frogger Reloaded, which was similar to your Frogger 2 one. And The Hague Speedrun.
Yeah.
That's very good.
That's a different game. That is good.
I only had, for the car game, I had I Am Speed and Too Speed, Too Fast.
Sure.
Yeah. Of course.
Right,
Yeah. That's the stuff.
Yep. And then for the frog games, I have Frog Day Afternoon.
Oh, that's good.
I have Frog of War Retaliation. Two Frog, Two War. And then
I'm an easy mark for that.
That's one of my favorite jokes. So,
Yeah.
And then the last one I have is the Rice Cooker Rebellion.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Tried to get Rice Cooker back in there.
Yeah, well, it's such a key part of what we discussed. It makes sense that
really
the
try to
names
keep us to
reflect
task
it.
on that.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm trying.
Incredibly.
Like, do you guys remember the words?
Hey, assholes. We pulled 3. Yeah. This is good. We need something to set us straight.
Okay.
Well, I got options. What are people thinking? What are we leaning towards? Sienna, do you have any favorites?
Let me see. I mean, I Am Speed, the final race. Is so funny. I also Turbo Racers is good. Oh, I did like Legs of Liberty. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
You know, the Frog of War actually spoke to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Sienna, you had a Frog of War one as well, right?
Yeah, I had Frog of War, Retaliation.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I like Grand Theft Auto Rice City more than I should.
What do you mean?
And I'm I'm partly wondering if is there anything we can pull from that.
Grand Theft Froggo, Rice City.
I mean, hey, if you want to put a third game in here, we can put a third game in here.
I incredibly do not want to do that.
Grand Theft Auto Rice City is the whole, whole other game going on.
It's insane how much I don't want to do that. I think for the car one, I Am Speed, the final race feels pretty locked.
It's so funny.
That's pretty keyed in. So yeah, I don't know. I like the Frog of War pun. Can we do something with Frog of War and Rice City or 23 somehow?
I mean, it could be the Frog of War, Rice City.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's the name of the encampment.
Yeah.
Sure, really putting rice in there.
Yeah.
That's good.
I love it.
I mean,
And
it
they're
could be
cooking
Frogger 23 Rice City, and we never mentioned 23 or anything.
What about 43? Because that's how long it's been.
That's right.
Interesting.
I still like 23. I think that's very funny with no context.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't though.
I know we can't.
We can't. We won't.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? We can do whatever we want.
So, okay, racing game, I Am Speed, the final race, and then frog game, my vote is for Frog of War, Rice City.
I'm down with that. I think it's good.
I like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, lock.
Let's write this goddamn pitch, you guys. Ay.
Do we have to write two? We have to write 2 pitches.
This is
the
the lesson we don't learn. Yeah. We keep not learning this lesson.
Together. Oh, that's so funny.
I mean, I think it's good that we're actually, the scope continues to creep every time we're actually doing it.
It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it. Last step. Write up the final pitch, which we'll share when we come back. We've come to the pitch portion of the episode. So we're almost done here, but we've got a little bit more for you. So as a reminder, we had 3 words today. We had Frogger, we had Parachute, and we had Rice Cooker. And we've taken those 3 slips of paper from a hat and we've turned them into a pitch. I wanted to say for a game, but that wouldn't be entirely honest. We'll say it's for 1.5 games, maybe even 2 games. So to learn some more, Frank, give us our pitch.
Today's games are Frog of War, Rice City, War is Boiling Over, and I Am Speed, The Final Race. Get ready for the most modern driving experience of your life. It's been 43 years since the start of the war. Now it's time to end it. A dizzying kaleidoscope of car violence was the catalyst for a conflict between frogs and the heartless 4-wheeled metal monsters. You play as Mr. Chef LaFrog, leader of the rebellion and master chef. Fire out of your frog cannon, the Big Jumper, behind the paved-over enemy lines as you scavenge for food, supplies, and dodge cars whose only intent is to drive fast and obliterate anything in their way. In this riveting tale of resistance, you will risk your life to support your comrades, encampment, and rid the land of these gas-guzzling fiends. On a totally unrelated note, like driving fast? Test your skills in I Am Speed, The Final Race. Nothing to see here but good old-fashioned fast fun. Drive around with nothing in particular to hit. Collect power-ups and avoid obstacles that appear magically. Probably nothing to look into there. In this completely normal and non-violent racing game, test your skills and speed on the track, in the city, off-road, and even in the air. Play online against friends and for no other reasons as you try to unlock new vehicles and score wicked big. Both games sold separately. Play a gritty tale of survival in the face of an encroaching wasteland, or play what is definitely an unrelated game and just drive around to have fun. The choice is yours. Okay, bye.
So silly.
That's just not how I expect you to read. Okay, bye. that was all business, my dude.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
I don't know.
I really love that. That was really funny.
This is the new way I'm going to say okay, bye to people. I'm going to go, okay, bye, and then hang up the phone.
Yes.
That's our pitch today. That's our game.
Games.
God damn.
Characters, tunes, games.
Characters. Oh, yeah. Email.
It's me, man.
I know it. Sienna, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Did you think it would end up like this?
No.
Yeah.
Is it everything you dreamed?
Yeah.
It was more, honestly. This was
beautiful.
I laughed so hard I cried. That was everything I wanted. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you, and thanks so much for joining us. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks again for having me. I'm honored to be the first guest.
Oh yeah, we're honored to have you. For you listeners at home, if you have your own ideas for either of our games today, you can hit us up. We actually have a new link in our episodes. You can text us directly your thoughts. Talk about getting doxed. So that's in the show notes. You can also hit us up on our website. You can email us and post a Slido and all these different things. So you can find us at Scope Creep Pod on Twitter. You can find us at Scope Creep Saloon everywhere else or scopecreepsaloon.com. And we've got a new game pitch every month. We've got mailbag episodes. People leave us stuff. So yeah, hit us up. Talk to us. We love to talk to you. And follow us to stay in the loop.
Hey, I think Sonic had something to say on the mural.
No, he didn't. I just want one episode where I don't have to talk to Sonic. I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that.
You want to know about Top Secrets? Or Detective Fingerling?
What? What? God
It appears to
damn
be the
it.
plot to the movie, the number 23.
I am not reading that.
That's what Sonic is saying.
Goodbye, sir. Good day.
Good day.
God damn it. Okay.
Bye.
Scope Creep Saloon is lovingly brewed by Andrew Johnson, Frank Francis, and me, Eric Peterson. Voice intro by James Herron. Music from Steve Oxen, Roger Tees, Audio Mint, and Pantheon Music, with original music by Sam Vanderhoop Lee. Thanks so much for listening, and come back soon.
Fucking Top
Wow.
Secrets. Go to hell, Drew.
all Drew contributed was the 23 cents.
That's not true at all. I had so many good ideas, including the number 23.
Honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Honestly,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
so funny.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
This was really so much fun. Thank you so much for having me. This was like
Oh my
a
God. Thanks so much
blast.
for doing it.
Like, there's no other way I'd wanted to spend my Tuesday night than just doing
Beautiful.
This. This is so great.